Oh shit, it's the goddamn Great Satan. Episode something. I'm not sure because episode numbers are revisionist. I'm joined today with Brother William.
What's up?
And Mr. Jake Flores.
Hello.
Loving the... I don't think the people are gonna, like, when the recording thing doesn't actually show login names anymore.
Right.
You still like show that, but yours is pretty cool. It's like Batwings and King Cuck, which is pretty tight.
Randomly, it asked me to put a name in the other day when I was just recording my own podcast, and like, cuck is just one of those funny words that you throw around, like, you know, in my group chat, my roommates is just like, you know, cucks or something. I don't know why. It's a funny word, right? I threw this around before I was leaked in a porn video that was cuck adjacent. So it's not like connected to that. It's just a coincidence,
like
I guess.
Chicken and egg kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a joke. It wasn't intended. It wasn't intended to be literal.
Hell yeah. It's, cuck adjacent is like, if eating your own cum is cuck adjacent, then what the fuck? Like, everybody is cuck adjacent, I guess.
I don't want to be like a stickler about this sort of thing, but you know, like, people have been tweeting at me with incorrect categorizations of this sort of thing and yelling at me, you know, oh, you're a cuck or whatever. And also this guy, one of my reply guys, Mark Random, keeps like offering, he's like, do you want to do cuck porn with me? Because he does cuck porn, I guess. And there's no cuck porn is when there's like another guy in the video and he's fucking someone. Not my thing, personally. Obviously, no shame, you know, no offense to anyone else. But stop offering me this shit. My thing, obviously, was just me and women, and then I ate my own cum. Right. Entirely different thing. Get it right, at least, I guess is what I'm getting at. I actually,
the cuck thing get out there, dude?
I'm sorry?
How did that get out there?
Well, basically what happened is that, you know, I'm a degenerate. Like, I've been friends with a bunch of sex workers and shit like that. Yeah. You know, I'm a working class guy. And, you know, so I fucking made that video with a friend of mine who, you know, is cool. And we, you know, she needed to make a thing for like sex workers that just have like small, like clip for sale things on their websites. It's just how they make extra money. And so, you know, probably nothing would have come of it, but I knew when it was happening. Oh, it might come out. I don't, you know, really give a shit.
Oh, that it was published online?
Well, yeah, it's online, but it's like not like particularly, like you would have to go digging to find it. But what happened is I was in a kind of a bad relationship right after that with someone who decided to go really, really deep and try to stalk me afterwards. And so what I think she did is she just like followed everyone. She went through everyone that I'm friends with on social media and eventually like found this shit. And then was like trying to blackmail me with it. And you know, it was just like sending me like threatening, like, I'm going to fucking, you know, show this to all these people. And I was like, whatever, I don't give a shit. And after a while, it just got to a point where I was like, oh, she's doing it. She's trying to like, you know, to get me or whatever. Because then it started to spread around the forums and stuff. And I started to get kind of threatening emails about it and stuff. You know, then I was like, all right, well, you know, I would not have normally leaked my own nudes, but that's the way to fucking get in front of that is, you know, to just diffuse the situation by going, look, I don't give a shit. Here it is. You can fucking look at it if you want. It's on my Patreon now, you know, it's on my OnlyFans or whatever.
I can't imagine seeing that and then getting so pissed off that you want to write hate mail.
Well, the other reason that I decided, like, all right, well, you know, I should probably talk about this is that, like, people started to try to tell me they were going to frame me as being a sex pest, you know, i.e. that there's something related to assault in this situation. And I think I, you know, decided, well, that would not be good. Like, I don't want this to, you know, I need to clear the air and make sure everyone knows that everything is very consenting and that, like, these are, you know, we're all hunky-dory and shit. And, yeah, and if that involves, you know, people seeing my dick and shit and depraved sex acts, I don't give a fuck. I'm a fucking comedian, you know? Yeah, I'm not running for office. I'm doing what Lenny Bruce did, you know?
Right.
Fight Club comedy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah. What was the guy that like used to like follow around Dennis Leary that ran for office? This like, kind of an older scumbag guy, kind of guy. Like, he was like a scumbag, but he ran for office.
I don't know.
His name sounded like Lenny Bruce. It was like, it was not funny. He was like a really not funny, like Jersey kind of guy.
It wasn't Club Soda Kenny, was it?
No, no, it was not like a O and A guy. It was like he was like hung out with Dennis Leary, and like, oh fuck, he does look like Club Soda Kenny though.
I don't know, man. I
When
don't
he
know who
ran
hung
for
out with
office,
Leary.
that made me think of that, where it was like, you're a nightclub comic, fucking do the job.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think I decided to kind of get in front of this because also there's also been like politicians where they've tried to do this shit too lately. And like, as people just get older and millennials become people that run for office and stuff. There's a few politicians I've seen just leak their own nudes because they're just like, look, this is gonna, my opponent's gonna try to use this against me anyway. There's nothing wrong with this. Fuck you. And I think it's pretty cool. I think the internet has put us at a place with sex where it's absurd that anyone would try to do what human society or Western society has kind of forced us into for a long time, which is vaguely allude in public that you've never fucked and you don't, do anything behind closed doors or whatever. It's silly. It's silly that you can blackmail a politician by, I have a tape of you having sex. What the fuck is wrong with that?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it is. That is fucking bonkers. Like, yeah, that is fucking wild. I'm lucky. Like when I did any kind of like sex work adjacent stuff, like I wore panties for a week and sold them. That was pretty. I was pretty tight. This is back in like the phone sex days. So like me, like I did phone, I did phone stuff, whatever. And that's before smartphones. Like you had to like be on a landline and like it was gnar. I was good at it. It was fine, And but like I met people through it that had like, well, shit, I got to get these stinky panties that are like this size where I can't put them on. And I was like tiny,
Yeah.
I was like, real little at the time, so like I got to wear the panties for the person because I was the size of the person that needed to be.
Right.
So I just like did that, and then like tuna juice and mayonnaise,
How much was the shipping to Japan?
Dude, Japan has like that's a buyer's market. We
Well,
could,
yeah,
if I'd been smart back then, we would have like figured out like a globalist. You know what I mean? Like we would have done like a big thing with it, but no.
What we should do is create like a mutual aid network for used panties. Like
Yeah,
just give
for
it
sure.
for free,
Absolutely. The Automotive Free Clinic might get on board with that. We're a like anarchist mechanics collective. So that'd be pretty tight to like also give away used panties. I don't think they would be on board with me even suggesting that, but that would be the way to do it, I think. Decommodify sex work, right? Or no, actually we want to do the opposite of that. We want to fuck.
Yeah.
It's
sex work is a confusing issue when it comes to left stuff.
It's like
decommodifying it would just mean sex, which is I think that makes sense. And
the labor part. Yeah, the labor part, like, I mean, well, you've done it too. So like you're in it now too. So like you get the idea. Like the labor part is not the fucking, like, and it's not the whatever. It's like what's held over your head forever. And you're just like, you're commodifying not being a prude. Basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the filming is also pretty like it's not, you're making something. It's not very hot, like when all the cameras being moved around and stuff, it's actually very sterile.
Right. If it's like going to the doctor or something.
Yeah. Funny thing about that, is that so this video is the end of it. I jacked off on a cookie and then I ate the cookie, right? And that's what people are trying to like own me with, like, oh my god, this guy ate a fucking cum cookie, right? What was the whole point? Was that it was weird. But the funny thing about it was that there's like a guy with a camera who's just this third person that's helping make this thing, and he's, you know, pretty cool person. We're all working together, and he's helping move stuff around. And it was his job, I guess, to go get the cookies. And so he had this like bag of Milano fucking cookies or something.
I was about to say Pepperidge Farm. I haven't seen it,
Yeah.
by the way, for the viewer. I was thinking of Pepperidge Farm cookie. That rocks.
It was something like that. And the funniest shit about this whole experience was that he dropped the cookie on the floor, and then he looked at me and he was like, "Oh shit, sorry, dude. Do you want me to get another cookie?" I was like, "I'm about to come on that. I don't give a shit if it was on the floor." That was Coach. This is first class, you know.
A Milano is fairly first class cookie.
Yeah, it's a good ass cookie.
The look
Yeah.
of it, everything. Good presence.
I'm a high end sex worker, you know.
Fuck. Oh man, that's crazy.
No, if you'd have been like, "Oh, it was a Samoan," I'd been like, "That's fucking disgusting."
Yeah.
Oh
there's
yeah,
a
like the
hole in
raw
middle.
Girl Scout cookie.
Yeah. Oh fuck, the Thin Mint would be so gross.
Oh no, that's where we're in disagreement. I love Thin Mints.
No,
Yeah, me
I
too.
love Thin Mints, but it wouldn't go.
That's true. Yeah, it would not pair well, I guess.
Pop one
Yeah.
right out of the fridge.
It's a pairing issue. It would be like making, like I used to make this drink called called the Thin Mint or whatever. It was like just a cocktail I drank all the time that was like mint, like Everclear reduction and
Sure.
and chocolate, you know, like
Yeah.
a little bit of like protein powder. That was my pre-workout, so I get like hammered enough to want to work out. And fucking, and like one time I didn't have I had the mint stuff, but I didn't have Everclear, so I like used this like kind of savory-ish like salty booze thing I'd been working on. So it was like a pickleback shot version. It was fucking nasty is the point I'm making.
Yeah.
But would pair nicely, I guess.
Yeah, you gotta well, I don't know. Everybody's cum tastes different is the other thing. Not all cum is the exact same thing. You know what I mean?
Right. They say that it's depending on what you eat and shit. I don't
Right.
really know.
And I eat mostly like burning tires. So my cum is awesome.
Yeah, I had a partner one time, like, kind of tell me, like, you taste like you just like you drink and smoke cigarettes all the time. And I felt really bad that that's coming out through there because that sounds really gross.
Yeah, fuck that. That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Fuck, I keep a pretty okay diet, I guess, but it still doesn't. It's not like, wow, I'm really, like it's not the. It's a subtle difference between the worst it's ever been and the best it's ever been.
Yeah. Definitely not the goal of eating better, I don't think.
No, that shouldn't be motivation for you as like in a dietary sense, like to make it better.
Yeah.
The old like hacky thing is pineapple, of course, right? Kiwi, pineapple, stuff with like citric acids and other types of whatever citric acid is, like actual vitamin C, the acid part. So I don't know. It seems like a lot of sugar,
It's the key.
Yeah, it would make it really hard to self-suck though, too, because then you'd put on some pounds.
True, yeah. That doesn't make sense, but I'm with you.
Well, no, when I was like skinny, I could do, I could make it happen, a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It would like clean up to like a bare minimum,
I had a friend who, like, on his birthday one time, we were out at a bar and he got kind of drunk and he told us, I was at a table full of friends and he told us that he had managed to suck his own dick at one point, and then he got kind of embarrassed about it, I guess, when he like sobered up, and he was like, why did I tell you guys that? And then like, but it's who gives a shit, right?
Right.
And it became a thing. I can't remember who phrased it this way, but it became a thing where every year on his birthday we go like, hey man, you should paint your own ceiling this year, It became the term. Hey, Just celebrate your birthday by painting your own ceiling.
I like it.
Yeah. It was in Pittsburgh. It's a very like working class metaphor.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that is yeah. I mean, like you're not calling over people to do it for you. I like it. Okay, now that makes sense. Yeah. I was trying to like make sense of it. I was like, it didn't seem like painting anything. Oh, the roof of your mouth. The ceiling is the roof of your. Okay, now I'm really on board with that double whatever. Jokes are like the dumbest thing sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Things that are really funny when you're like just hammered with the boys don't translate later, you know?
Yeah.
I think that holds up.
Yeah, that was
yeah,
I took some acid. I spent like 2 hours tripping at that dude flipping the sign around for Pete Buttigieg.
Oh,
to me, that was just the funniest shit, just the shittiest job.
Yeah.
You know, like the fucking, you know, check it out, whatever, doing the tricks. God damn, dude. Awful. What a hell world.
I took some acid a while back and was dying laughing watching this show called The Floor is Lava that just came out on Netflix. And because, yeah, I mean, it was, you know, jokes are like this kind of shared experience. So it's just me and like two other people. And so one of us brought up that, like, you know, a lot of these people are probably dead from COVID now because this was filmed shortly before that. And it, like, for some reason, while the acid was really flowing, it was very funny, you know. But yeah, like you're saying, like a lot of these things are contextual to like while you're on acid. Like now, that's like a pretty tame observation, I guess. But
yeah.
You know, jokes are all about context. Sometimes the context is that your brain is temporarily different.
Right. Well, you're also like in the moment of taking in their existence in the past, right? So it makes it really funny to be like, those people are dead, and this is like contemporary media, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I like to try to write comedy on acid sometimes, and then the experiment is always, you know, the next day, look at it. Does this shit make any sense or whatever? And it almost never does. You know? Every once in a while, you can kind of pull something back from that world, but generally, I think like in order for any of that material to make sense, you would have to be on acid again, and then the audience would also have to be on acid.
Right.
The only kind of artistic inspiration I've ever taken from it is like just the vaguest kind of loosest concepts that you can, like you said, you know, just redefine or refine once you have, you know, calmed down. Because half the shit you think of is not as funny as, you know.
Yeah.
It's very funny that psychedelic drugs are treated by some people as these like great inspirational things to artists, and then you actually do them and you realize how stupid that is, and how
I don't fucking
you know, most artists, it's like everything else, it's a lot of boring work that goes into, you know, trying to connect.
Yeah, it's this like technical slog most of the time. Like the inspiration's like rare, and then the rest of it is like translating that into work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only ever done the only psychedelic I ever did was when I was like 12. I did mushrooms. And then I've never done any other drugs ever. Which that's like the most boring story of all time. But like when I do, like you were talking about like getting outside of your head to do comedy or to like write comedy or write anything or like make ideas happen. It's like caffeine and like a tiny amount of booze is fine.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, dude, I see some of the funniest shit when I'm at work sober. I mean, there's this, you know, they had some race the other day and they're all watching it at the bar, all these rednecks and shit. And Keselowski, I guess, won. And one of the guy goes, "That's a Jewish boy." He's not, but I don't know why that fucking matters. This guy's got a list of which NASCAR racers are Jewish. And then this woman at the end of the bar goes, "I love Jews." It was just the rawest, most Protestant thing I've ever seen.
Oh, that rocks. The South is so fucking interesting sometimes. Like what clicks in people's brains is like fun things to say at the bar.
Yeah.
Man,
well, there's like this inherent, like everyone can kind of feel the judgment when you're in the South of like people think we're racist. So you do find yourself just blurting out sometimes, "I love Jews." Like, I'm
this
not.
woman was 1,000% a Christian Zionist. I mean, just the fucking switch flipped in her reptile brain. Oh, I love the Jews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! Like she thinks her kids are demon possessed and sends them off to be adopted. She's like, yeah, I love it. Yeah. There was like a big scandal about that. This is like not on topic at all, but it was. He made me think of it with the "I love Jews" thing because like, yeah, this lady is just like not Jewish at all and had like 6 kids and sent 3 of them to Israel to be in foster care specifically because she was like, they'll just join the IDF and like,
what the fuck?
Yeah, she like sold her kids to the Israeli military.
Holy shit.
Basically, I mean, like in an alienated way. I can't speak specifics on it because I haven't done any research because I'm dumb, but, yeah, it was one of the most interesting stories I'd ever heard where I was like, whoa.
It's crazy to see people from like fucking South Philadelphia and fucking New Jersey and shit that are living in Israel. Like, this is my land. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was the craziest thing because the lady was just like not even Jewish at all. She was like definitely Christian. She was like one of those like end times Christians. So she was
yeah.
I'll give half my kids to the cause of like this
just
biblical
cannon fodder for Armageddon.
That's what she thinks is happening. Yeah, they're like they think like the IDF is bringing about the nuclear sandwich of Jesus.
Yeah. Christians are like, they're kind of on a funny spectrum like that, where it's like you go far enough into hating Jews and then it flips all the way back over and then they really love Jews because it's part of this plan to, whatever the fuck the story there is that leads to Armageddon.
Yeah, Christian Zionism is fucking gnarly. Like, because it is hating Jews. Like, it's like they hate Jews until they like hate Jews being alive, right? Like they think that Jews are like coolly killing themselves. Like they think Israel.
They want to see them corrected.
Well, they want to see it like this historical prophecy occur where all the Jews die. So they're like, they love that Jews are like wielding a little bit of white nationalist power for a second, and then they're all going to just be murked by God, I think.
Yeah, they love Jews in the way that like the Midsummer cult loves the kids that come to hang out. Like they're like very nice for some reason, because something's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's like one of those actual horseshoe theory things where it's you go all the way in one direction and suddenly you flips back around, like fucking guns, where if you go far left enough you get the guns back.
Right. Yeah, like, yeah, American liberalism is so fucking crazy where it's like people consider it like a left position to be anti-gun when it's like, no, you just want safety. Like that's the right, that's like middle right. Like,
yeah,
that's like, oh, you're pro-capitalist and you think guns are bad, you're still right wing. Like that's a right wing position to be anti-gun.
Yeah, yeah, man, it's weird. People somehow they sold that anti-gun thing as like an inherently left argument to liberals, and it's a specific issue.
Yeah. American politics is like those schooner pictures where you have to like stare at it funny, and then they're like, that's the left, and you have to like stare at it and like, that's the left, I guess. These like billionaires that want cops to be able to murder you in your house, but you can't shoot back at them. Like that's the left, you know what I mean, in America.
Yeah. I think it's probably what's going on there is that, not to give too much credit to like conservatives or the other side or anything, but generally on the like national scale, when it comes to what people in this country who think of themselves as Republicans or Democrats actually believe in, people that vote Republican actually are ideological. They could tell you what it means to be a conservative and that's bad. Like, that's
say,
bad. They should
I
like
mean,
that.
up until like 4 years ago, I'd say that's true, right? Like the majority of
Yeah.
it. But now, I
I
mean,
mean,
you know, Republicans now are a little different. But I get what you're saying. Like they're universally like accepted concepts, right? That are human,
yeah.
and I would say most of that's left wing. And the Republicans have co-opted so much of the social parts of that don't really matter to defeating capitalism or upholding capitalism as like cultural things like free speech, guns, right? Those are both hard left concepts. Like the wide
Right.
awakes in the like when the Republicans murdered cops, right? Like they were like cool cop murdering militias in the North before the Civil War, right?
Yeah.
Their main like thing was free speech, free soil, free people, right? So like
Yeah.
free speech and guns are like super left concepts, and the right wing has said like, well, those are ours, right? Those are our things. So they're like, you don't pick a like when you go to the prison or whatever, you know, you're supposed to pick the fight with the big guy, right? No, that's dumb. You lose that fight, right? So you pick a fight with like a weak guy and just beat the shit out of him. So that's what they do. They're like, hey, Nancy Pelosi's a cunt, and you all go, yeah, she's a yeah, right? Who doesn't think Nancy Pelosi's a cunt? Like Hillary Clinton murdered a CIA asset that fucked kids. They're like, wait, are you on her side? You know, like, but you know, like, yeah, she's bad. Like they're beating up people that everybody wants to beat up.
Right. Right. Yeah. And like, I guess what I was saying about the liberal mind is that it's like, you know, if you ask a liberal what they actually believe in, there isn't really any undergirding ideology. It's pretty much based on a reaction to Republicans at this point. And so that's why, because there's no undergirding ideology, you find this situation where uh, being anti-gun is part of it for some reason that wouldn't really ideologically be consistent with anything resembling the left. And then also, you know, every time a goddamn Democrat politician comes along, you have to fucking explain why this person is actually bad, you know? And it's like, that's what's so frustrating about liberals, you know? Is like, if you're gonna go about being unideological, that means whenever the Democrats run fucking 30 people for president, we have to go through each and every one of them and explain them, and because you can't just look at it and go, oh, the fucking money is coming from the wrong place. That ideologically means something, you know? Like, we shouldn't be talking about Kamala Harris and prisons at all. You should just go, where the fuck's the money coming from? End of story, you know?
Yeah, and then forget their name in 20 seconds. It should be like that fast.
Yeah.
How quickly they've flipped the anti-war sentiment from the Iraq years to now, you know, the same liberals, whatever, want to build up NATO, and they bitch about taking troops out of Germany. Why do we need any troops in Germany? I'm glad they're taking those jobs out of Germany because those are the ones that people in the military desire most. Like, I hope your ass has to go to the UAE.
Yeah.
A hot ass country.
Kuwait, where you can't drink.
Yeah. What? Yeah. I mean, that has to be an insane, like, cush job if you join the military and end up just sitting in fucking Germany. Nothing's going to happen.
All of them want to go to Germany or Japan.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of funny when Trump was going to call in the National Guard to stop the protests because, like, a lot of people join the National Guard as like, you know, it's a cush thing. We're not going to be involved in a land war at any point. And all of a sudden you're getting waking up and shook out of bed because you have to go, like, drive a tank through Los Angeles or something.
Sit around a fucking Stonewall Jackson monument and get hit with fucking bottles filled with cement and shit.
Yeah.
Bottle of cement. Dude, if any cop had got hit with a bottle of cement, that would have been the front page news for 2 weeks.
Man, that one, I forget where it was, where they were going wild. I saw bricks and shit flying in, which, hey, I'm all for, right? I mean,
Right, of course.
bring the artillery. I think they should start shooting back.
Yeah.
When I was in the street in New York, there were definitely bricks flying around in all directions. I couldn't save the fuck through it. But the thing about cops where they say they're filling bottles with cement and throwing them is very telling, because if someone wanted to throw something at the cops, they just throw a piece of cement. There's just shit laying around, but they have to devise a story that makes it sound more insidious, that gives away the game, that it's fucking made up. You know, you're just trying to like.
Yeah. That also justifies like stealing people's water.
Right.
Like that's a weapon.
Oh yeah.
It was bottles
Yeah.
of cement that were thrown. It wasn't bricks of cement. It was bottles of cement. So now the bottle is the weapon. The
Right.
cement was the weaponized object, and so now you can steal water from regular ass people.
Yeah.
Damn. Now you're thinking like a cop.
Yeah, man. Early fucking like super early on, I'll say this, Kansas City, their cops were smarter than everybody else in the whole country because they went around and just took pictures of trash instead of waiting for people to like actually do anything. They were like, we know they're not actually going to do anything, so let's just tweet pictures of garbage and say it was like stashed to be thrown at us. So there was like canned goods and beer bottles at the park. Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened?
What happened to your screen?
I don't know what the fuck just happened. We only have like 8 minutes left, so it's all
That-
good. Anyway.
Those pictures that the cops, I love that they always do those contraband photos, and then there's just like ridiculous things laid out on a table that are supposed to look like I guess it's always got this air where it's supposed to look like a fucking drug bust or like some kind of, you know, cool like action-ish, you know, movie type thing or whatever. But then it's a White Claw can and like a
Yeah.
you know, a dented can of beans or whatever. A friend of mine painted those to raise money during all this stuff, and I have one on my wall. It's pretty cool.
What, like the confiscation pictures?
Oh,
She made a still life out of those confiscation pictures, so it looks like a bowl of fruit type thing, but it's just the White Claw can and the fucking banana or whatever.
You ever see where it's like 4 cops around and it's one pipe and like a half a gram in a baggie?
DM a link. I'll drop it in the show description.
Okay. I'll send it.
Yeah, we don't do Patreon. We don't monetize this show at all. So like, but we like to help other people out. So,
speaking of which, we don't have much time left. I realized we've just been riffing. Was there anything in particular you wanted to talk about?
I wanted to ask Will about Beirut, but like because I don't know shit about the Middle East at all, and Brother William is our
Some Russian billionaire left a bunch, like 3,000 pounds of ammonium nitrate, and they confiscated it, stored it in a warehouse for 9 years. Then there was a fire yesterday, and they said it was like 1/10 the size of the Hiroshima explosion, that it was like 1,000 times as big as Timothy McVeigh's bomb.
Yeah, that's fucking gnarly.
Wow.
It's still in the middle of the fucking economic crisis there, and then the tension with Israel and COVID. It's really tough times.
Yeah, dude. Like why? So, I don't pay attention to anything, but like conspiracy theorists were saying it was a missile.
Oh
no on that. Okay, hard no on that. And those are like, so like politically, what the fuck would that conspiracy even do? Like, is that like who would?
I mean, there's so much spin in that because there's so many sectarian angles and political angles that there's so much spin, but there's the accident. It's just it's shitty government with, shitty oversight. They never should have let that shit sit in the warehouse for 9 years. Nothing from the billionaire though. He just like never came and reclaimed his shit. So I'd like to hear from
trouble
him.
For that.
I hope so. I don't know. He's in Russia now. I know that they sent a bunch of like fireworkers to put out the shit right before it exploded. There's like a awful picture. I know, it was really bad.
Damn. Well, it was like 2 days ago or yesterday? Yeah, 8-4 or 8-5. Whatever that is, we'll never forget. That's gnarly. Fucking fireworks.
Yeah, there was some like shitty reporter that was trying to say that it was nuclear. It was a nuke that went off. But that seemed like that was bad reporting.
Fucking crazy.
That shockwave was unbelievable, where you could see it in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
How many people died?
It was like
I think it was up to 170, but it's going to be a lot more. They said if it was 400 meters south, farther in the city, that it would have been tens of thousands of people. they're very lucky that it happened at least on the edge of the, port.
Wow.
Fuck. God damn. We got a like quiet part of the thing. I never do that. I never do the no, you know what I mean, like the dead air in the thing. I don't do that so much. That's pretty good. Dead people make me do that. Make me quiet, Well, fuck, dude. Yeah, it was fun riffing with you. We'll have you on again sometime for sure.
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah, and good looking out with the whole cyberbullying thing.
Oh yeah, I love to fight, man.
Yeah.
I'll be all right. Fuck those people.
Hell yeah, and good luck on the Patreon and good luck on. So you don't have an OnlyFans though, right? So I'm not dropping an OnlyFans link. I'm dropping a Patreon link for you in the item description in the video.
Patreon is my OnlyFans, and most of the porn I produce is for your mind via audio.
Correct. Hell yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Thanks for coming on again.
Thank you.
This was I don't remember what episode we're on, but this is the Great Satan. It's 30 something or 40 something. I can't remember. Yeah. It's August. And, a lot of people are dead. I don't know. Not a lot of big changes this week, so there wasn't a lot to go over. But I feel like we didn't do any talking about actual things, which is good though, because riffing is funnier. It's funnier and more funner.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how podcasting goes. If you can get a good riff going, you don't need to do any work that episode. And then if you do enough hard work and research something, you don't need to do the riffing.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
This is the dialectical?
Yeah, that's how that's how I see it. That's how I look at it when I do my own show. Sometimes I'm like, I didn't do enough research this week. I better be funny. Yeah. And, fuck, you're a goddamn, entertainer. That's what people are paying for anyway.
Right.
Give them the stories about the jizz. That's what they want. People don't want to hear about dialectics. They don't want to hear about Hegel and shit.
Nope. Not a goddamn bit. Not a phenomenology. Wait, frenulumnology. Is the frenulum the part of the dick? Frenulum.
You lost me. Are we talking about
the part where your balls connect to your dick? It's the
the perineum.
Perineum. That's the gooch. Yeah. Perineumology of the spirit. Hegel. There we go. All right, less than 1 minute. We are done. Great Satan. Thanks for coming on again, Jake Flores, Brother William. Woo!
Thank you, Jake.